Erin Brown has finally completed a sprint double race in ample time, and we can't stop hearing about it all. We knew that the World Athletics Championships in Oregon was going to have some amazing moments, but what Erin pulled off was just fantastic. So stay tuned to today's video as we discuss. First up, Erin Brown completes sprint double with 200-meter title at Track and Field Nationals. Erin Brown has won many titles throughout his sprinting career so far, but these recent ones felt a little different. During some insane sprint, Brown sprinted past the rest of the competition and won the men's 200-meter title in a whopping time of 20.03 seconds. In comparison, Jerome Blake finished in a time of 20.32 seconds. During the women's 200-meter final, Natasha McDonald ran her own personal best of 22.67 seconds, leading her to win the national title. Despite it being below world standard, sadly, that was an illegal wind, which means her special time does not count. This was her first national championship, so it's sad to see such an awful situation happen to her. Erin Brown's victory means he has 10 national titles, and 4 of them will win for both 100 meters and 200-meter events at the same national championship. The other ones, it's easy to take them for granted sometimes, because you're always focused on the big championships. You want that glory. But wow, 10 times, that's a lot. We have some great people in Canada in the sprints, Brown said after the race. Brown recently hit 30 and is approaching the end of his running career, but his recent summer showing shows how powerful a runner he still is. He was celebrating his victory with his family, and it just shows how memorable of a journey he's had so far. These are legacy-defining moments, not just in track, but as a father too. Those hit differently too. It's always special when you can incorporate family in what you do. When I can incorporate them, it means the world, Brown said. One day he'll look back and see what I did. If he wants to be a sprinter one day, I'll tell him he has 10 championships to catch his dad. Shortly after his 100-meter victory on Saturday night, Brown stepped onto the podium to receive his gold medal. For the first time ever, he had company. Brown held his 1-year-old son Kingsley in his arms as he leaned over to have the medal put around his neck. The pride Brown exuded in that moment was evident as he beamed on the podium looking at his son. To get gold in front of my son is special. He'll cherish those moments one day when he's older and can understand what I just did. Being a part of that is a special moment for us, Brown said. Erin basked in his glory for what could be one of the last times in his lengthy career. He didn't anticipate this victory, but saw the opportunity and took it clearly. He knows what he's doing, and it led him to one of his best wins yet. He has made a lot of sacrifices along the way, pushing his family to the side and making running his main goal in life. Having a son has changed his mindset, meaning he might retire even sooner than his body lets him. He says now that the finals are over, he couldn't run around with his son once again and live with his family like he wants to. What do you think about all of this? Let us know down in the comment section below. And now, onto some other athletic news. Now, biology trumps gender. Athletics could ban transgender and DSD women from female events. The athletics world has been talking a lot about whether transgender athletes should be allowed in certain sports. From track stars to even things like swimming, each organization behind the events have been talking about what should happen and the rules that need to be set in place. Regulations have been tightening, and we don't know what the future will hold. Today, we are going to be referring to athletics, not just sporting in general. It looks like the athletics world could be set to ban transgender women from the higher tier of female competitions, after one of the heads of the sports governing body, Sebastian Cole, revealed that its regulations are currently under review, and the quote, biology trumps gender. From what we've seen, the World Athletics president has announced that they are considering transgenders in the sport and the difference between sex development. These policies are going to be implemented before the end of the year, so they should be announced soon. Sebastian Kerr has been supportive of what swimming have said. FINA have only allowed women who never experienced male puberty to take part in their events, meaning that if you haven't transitioned before the age of 12, then you cannot partake in the sports. As many have pointed out, this is transphobic and overall just stupid. Trans women women should be able to compete in women's events no matter the level. If they are of high-level play, then they should be able to take part in the high-level tiers. It only makes sense. Currently in athletics, trans women are allowed to compete in the elite level of athletics, but in the near future, that might be changing. As long as they can have low testosterone levels for a year, they will be allowed to play. Sadly, there are currently no trans women playing and competing at the international level. However, the DSD's women's participation is increasing. The question right now is that for the women who are competing right now, do they have to reduce their testosterone levels to carry on playing as they currently would? FINA have changed their rules for the swimming parts. So will athletics follow suit? We don't know right now, but in the near future, things might be changing. What do you think about all of this? Let us know down in the comments below. It's definitely a tough topic, so it's hard to decide what's right and what's wrong. But what we do know is that trans women should be able to play in whatever skill set they can achieve, no matter what gender they are. And finally, Julius Yego could still topple the greats in javelin. Javelin is one of the most important sports in history, but is often forgotten about when it comes to athletic tournaments. Even in the Olympics, javelin is one of the events that many don't tune into or overall just don't care about. However, some athletes in javelin are some of the most popular right now for what they're about to achieve. Julius Yego is approaching his 4th World Athletics Championship and said that he can still top the greats with what he wants to achieve. Julius is one of the best male javelin throwers right now, and in world rankings, he's one of the top. His throw of 79.69 meters won the African title in Mauritius last month. Curly has some skill, but we don't know what his future will hold. He made history when he became the first African in 2015 to win the javelin at the World Championships with the insane throw of 92.72 meters in Beijing. That mark still stands as one of the highest records in continental history. He then, in 2016, went on to win an Olympic silver medal in Rio, despite only throwing once because of a knee injury that actually saw him be wheeled out of the stadium. Over the last few years, he has struggled, as he has had no training with professionals, because he is a self-taught thrower, which just shows how insane he is as an athlete. In the next event, he will be up against some of the best contenders for Olympic championships, such as Neeraj Chopra from India. His goal is to become one of the best javelin throwers in the world, on top of the greats right now. He's very confident when he said this during interviews, so hopefully he can do what he wants to achieve. During the heat of the event, he's also joined by Ihab Abdelrahman and Johan Grobler, who are also some of the greats right now. The competition surrounding him is immense, but if he wants to achieve his so-called toppling of the great, then he has to beat the ones around him. It's actually an incredible situation he's got himself into. He wants to become the best, and he is currently up against the best, meaning if he does pull out the win at this event, he will definitely be competing for the top spot. However, this is just the heat, so if he does fail here, he takes his shot, but if he does get through, he will definitely have a chance. Julius definitely has a bright career ahead of him. Even though he is self-taught, he has the skills of some of the best professional players right now. And that's the end of today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed this latest video. If you did, would you please let us know down in the comments section below? It would be very helpful. Make sure to like the video, comment down below, and of course subscribe to the channel with the notification bell rung. Thank you for watching today's video. Bye!